Welcome to a special edition of the Lakeshow Breakdown Show. I'm your host, Retro Yuki, giving you guys a prediction period for the free agency period of the Lakers. As you guys know, the road to the 18th championship for the Lakers has to come through the free agency period. And here we are. We're almost there to the 2021 season, and I'm very excited to start this journey of mine for Laker breakdowns with you all as we get ready for what could be a very exciting 2021 season. So I'm going to be talking about the free agency. We're going to be talking about who's in free agent mode for the Lakers. I'm also going to be talking about who is on my lock and my questionable list. We're also going to be talking about some rumors that have just started to pop up. And then I'm going to be talking to you guys about how we're going to do it for Saturday's live show. As we start doing it as a community with you guys. I want you guys to be involved this year. So let's get started with our list. The following 10 players are in free agency for the Los Angeles Lakers starting this year. We have KCP, Kostas Pope. We have Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, Dion Waiters, Kostas, Antetokounmpo, Markieff Morris, Avery Bradley, Javele McGee, and J.R Smith. Those are the 10 Lakers in free agency this year. Let's see what happens to each one of them. I'm gonna reveal which of those names are on my locked list first. Locked for the Lakers next year are these guys. I have KCP, Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, Dion Waiters, Kostas, Antetokounmpo, and Avery Bradley. Why did I pick those as my lock? Let's go over what I decided for each player and what I thought about each player for this season, and then we'll go ahead and talk about who I think is questionable. First, let's talk about KCP. KCP in my list is an 85% sign for the Lakers because he can shoot threes when needed. He can spread the floor and space out for the floor. So when they start going on offense, they need to spread the floor. I think KCP can do that for you. Okay, so 85%, I'm gonna lock him in. Next one I want to talk about is Rajon Rondo. Rondo is a 95% lock on my list because first of all, he balled. He can ball. He can ball and do this stuff. 3-pointers every day. All the way in the paint too. He's nicknamed Playoff Rondo for a reason. In the season this year, he was a little bit off in my opinion, but in the playoffs he was dominant, as in he can score. That dude can score. He can dominate in the paint, but what we saw this bubble period was more in the 3-point zone and a little bit more into the paint area. So I'm going to keep him in the Lakers. And he was great off the bench as well. Next name on my list is Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard in my case is a 95% lock because he can rebound. He is excellent rebounding this year, helped keep the Lakers in play and actually dominant during the series of rebounding. Now there's another guy on our list that has rebounds, and he's coming up next. He can play some bully defense. By bully defense, I'm talking about he can get in your face in defense. He will be in your face on defense, and he will make it hard for you to shoot and score. So I think Dwight Howard is a lock for that. And he's LeBron's running partner, so why not? The next guy on our list is Anthony Davis. It's out of order on my layout, but I have a book here, so I'm gonna put Anthony Davis as a lock 95%. First of all, he's LeBron's best buddy. LeBron, as in the brow. He can score in bunches because he can go drive in the paint and he does this little fadeaway shot that looks stoppable. It's not. So I think he can still contribute for our Lakers this coming 2021 season. And he's a defensive player, guys. Oh, and by the way, he can rebound. I think there was one game he got over 10 rebounds in the bubble. So look out for Davis this coming season. I have a feeling Frank Vogel and the staff will re-sign Anthony Davis. And actually, there's talks right now that Davis is actually ready to sign that contract again. So we'll see as we head to free agency period this Sunday. Okay, the fifth one is more of a free pass lock. Kostas Antetokounmpo is more of a pass block at 80%, only because we did not see him much this season. Most likely only because we just signed him. So we did not see him much this year. So I'm going to give him a second shot just to prove himself that he can play with the Lakers. So I'm going to give him 85%. Excuse me, 80%. The next name on my list is Avery Bradley, and he's a 75% lock. Now he's my low lock. Okay, he's my low lock. Only because he did not play in the bubble, because of course the bubble was made because of the COVID-19. So he also had to leave the bubble because of that. So I'm gonna give him a pass. But the only other reason why he's a low lock was because he played defense. He can play defense for you. So I'm gonna give him that. So defense wins championships, and I'm going to stick with my pick there. So we'll see what happens on Saturday if I decide to change it during our community prediction show. Next name and final name in our locks, Dion Waiters. I chose Dion Waiters as a lock at 85% because he can ball, he can play, three-point guy, three-point dude, but we did not see him much this season. He was limited play in the bubble and in the season. So I'm going to give him an 85% lock for that though. If he signs again with the Lakers this year, I'm going to have a guess that he's going to play at least 12 games. He has to at least have 12 games of experience in order to continue with the Lakers. So I think 85% is a gift in this case. The following names are on my questionable list, and they are Markieff Morris, Javele McGee, and J.R Smith. Now, I do want to give you guys a special note on J.R Smith. J.R Smith was actually signed as a sub player only, according to their contract. So I'm going to give him a pass in that case. Speaking of J.R Smith, he's next on my book. So we did not see much playing time from him. In the bubble, yes, he was playing, but he was a little bit more inconsistent. Now, let's see. I'm going to give you three percentages. The first one is going to be how much I think he's safe to play for the Lakers again next season. The next one is a trade or in the market, like in the free agency market. If I think he's going to be in the market rather than stay with the Lakers. And finally, the last one is going to be for a trade before the trade deadline. So that's another thing I'm going to cover for you guys as we get forward to the 2021 season. So I think he's 60% safe to sign with the Lakers or to be part of the Lakers as part of the free market. So I'm going to say 60% he's going to stay. If I'm going to guess about a trade or like a market, 20% he's going to stay on the free agency market this year, and 20% chance of him being traded. I don't think it's that big of a deal with J.R. Smith though. I think if what I'm about to say later for the rumors are true, then we might have trade pieces. The next name is Javele McGee. Now Javele McGee is a champion already because he played with the Warriors. Now with the Lakers, however, he did not have much playing time in the season and in the bubble. Now of course, most of that was eaten up by the starting five with Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and everybody else. Now it's tough for me to decide on McGee as a player right now because of his can he stay healthy, can he stay consistent, and can he play with the big guys. So I'm more questionable on this guy, but I'm gonna give him a pass. Okay, I say 60% safe, 30% he's gonna stay on the free agency market, and 10% he's gonna be traded for somebody else. The final name on our list is Markieff Morris. He can ball. I believe he can ball. Okay? He can ball. He is a three-point shooter, but he did not have enough playing time in my book. But I'm going to give him a pass as well. 60% safe, 30% market, and 10% he's going to be traded. Now, the thing that comes with free agency, of course, is rumors. And we have a few of them coming up right here. And some of these are big. And there's one rumor I want to get to that just dropped. First one I want to talk about is from the current NBA free agency rumors. I'm going to give you guys the link in the description below. First is Jeremy Grant of the Denver Nuggets. We faced the Nuggets in the Western Conference for you guys during that period where Denver overcame 3-1 deficits. Now he has a player option for this year. He can bring tempo, crash the boards, and he might be playing by Kyle Kuzma. Leave that name in mind though. Keep that name in mind, Kyle Kuzma. I'll talk about him in just a moment. He will be an upgrade for Kuzma, scoring 11.6 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 1.3 assists this season. I think he's a good fit. Next name on the list in terms of rumors, it's Joe Harris of the Brooklyn Nets. Now, let's remind ourselves who else in the Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, my friends, is one of those guys who's a flake. He is a flake according to Colin Cowherd. I keep saying his name wrong. I watch him on YouTube. CC. But he's a flake, and Kyrie Irving wants to let him stay in Brooklyn only because of his talent. Now he is an unrestricted free agent though, so that could be something to keep in mind. Here's some stuff though I think you might want to talk about. His season this year, 14.5 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 42% from 3. Think about that for a moment. 42.1% from 3. That's something. Oh, and 2.1 assists. I forget the assist number. 42% from 3. Keep that number in mind. But we do have our pieces ready to go for 3 as well. So we'll see what we got for that. The next name on our list is a name you guys will be familiar with if you are in the Los Angeles Clipper fan group, and that is Montrezl Harrell. He has a relationship with LeBron James. So if you talk about relationships, this guy is for you. Now, he can help with the small ball play as well. Stats this season are 18.6 18.6 points. I said assists, but that could have been weird. 18.6 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 1.7 assists. Now, after next year, he's an unrestricted free agent, period. UFA, okay? So keep that one in mind. Now, remember I told you to keep Kyle Kuzma in your mind here. That's because of the rumors that have just dropped. Trade rumors and deals are here, and boy, are there a few of them that I want to touch on. First off, according to CBS Sports, there is a rumor and a trade that could be happening where Lakers trade Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, and a first-round draft pick for a third scoring person. Now, this third scoring person is going to be based on what we got here from CBS Sports. Now, for Kuzma, this year, according to what we read here, he has the 7th most minutes in the Lakers this year. He was the third star experiment, as they like to call him. Now, the possible players in the third scoring person option are as follows. We have Buddy Hield of the Kings. We have DeMar DeRozan of the Spurs, who was just moved to the Spurs from Toronto, I think last year. Evan Fournier of the Orlando Magic. Terry Rozier of the Boston Celtics. We have Derrick Rose of the Detroit Pistons and Zach LaVine of the Chicago Bulls. I was about to say Chicago Cubs. Okay, so I think if the third scoring person has to be, if I'm going to be the betting guy, if I was a betting guy, I'm going to say DeMar DeRozan is going to be the third scorer. Remember, DeMar DeRozan in Toronto was really good scoring wise, okay? I'm going to pick DeMar DeRozan as my third if they decide to trade Kuzma and Green and the first round draft pick for DeMar DeRozan. We'll see what happens with that one. Buddy Hield is a close second in my list. Derrick Rose could be a third. So I think it's those three for the third scoring person. Now, there are two more rumors that just dropped, and this one is one of the big ones. Dino Gallinari was another name that was thrown out there this week. Now, he is not set to sign again with Oklahoma City Thunder. According to a tweet he just did after the Lakers won their title, he said, "Congrats champions," at Lakers with eyeballs, like the eyeball emoji. Now, a lot of people speculate so many times, and I never get why. Anytime they see at X champion something, they immediately determine that the player who tweeted that is going to that team because they want to go for a title. And that makes sense that makes sense in today's society. You want to win for a title. So if that is true, then that's another one for those good stuff. Okay, now before we talk about the whole Saturday show, I do want to get into one more that just dropped about like 7 p.m. Pacific this tonight. Chris Paul to the Lakers. Okay, this one I am more questionable on than the other two. The reason why is because back in, I believe, 2013, when this whole trade thing that happened with New Orleans, I think, before the whole thing happened, there was a trade that went that landed Chris Paul to the Lakers, but that was vetoed by the former NBA leader. Forgot his name, by the way. I know the new name because I know the name of the commissioner right now. Adam Silver, because Silver, as in like Silver the Hedgehog. My favorite hedgehog, by the way, is Shadow, not Sonic. But you get my point. Oh, excuse me, David Stern. There you go. David Stern. So David Stern is the one that vetoed the trade that could have brought Paul to the Lakers. Instead, Paul went to the Clippers. Now, is it about to be the time where the Lakers get Paul? I'm going to put a 75% no. And here's why. Because remember, the Lakers already have Davis. In my book, and only my book, I think Davis is better than Paul in terms of like moving the ball. Okay? Now, Chris Paul is a great player. Let's not take away from him. Let's not take away anything from him. But I think Davis has a better shot going for the title if it was Paul in the Lakers. So we'll see. That one just dropped literally a few hours ago. Okay. So my final thoughts of this free agency and players to watch. If the Lakers play their cards right, this could be a very interesting season for our purple and gold. Okay? I really think, especially for Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green, those two I think are more on the chopping block than any of the other players we just talked about for the free agent market. I really think both of them are on the chopping block. Now, will the Lakers keep one of them? If the Lakers keep one of them, I would think they would keep Kuzma. I really think so. And not Danny Green, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Danny Green, now everybody's going to blame Danny Green for that missed shot in game number 4. Game number 5, excuse me, when the Lakers had a chance to tie the game. Now, believe me, I was ready to cheer when Danny Green attempted that shot. I was ready to say we're going to tie this game. Even though it did not happen, eventually the Lakers won the title. Now, Danny Green is interesting because I believe he went from the Raptors to the Spurs to the Lakers. That's what I'm thinking the history with Greeny here is. Now, let's just say that Lakers would keep both of them, and we're not going to be talking about that rumor with the third scorer. We'll see about that one, folks. And then, if we can get our 18th title, we're passing the Celtics. Let's go. The players I think you guys need to watch: Gallinari, Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green, Jeremy Grant, and Montrezl Harrell. Those 5, especially with Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green on the list, I would start to pay attention to those 5 names on the list there. Once again, Gallinari, Kuzma, Green, Jeremy Grant, and Montrezl Harrell. Now, I want to talk about a little bit about Saturday's show, because I'm going to do this live again. We're going to do this again, but this time you guys are part of the show. So here's how it's going to work. On Saturday at 5:30 p.m., we're going to be live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time via Restream.io. I do want to give you a quick look at the scene or at the layout. As you guys can see here, I'm going to remove the names because we're going to do this individually. As you guys can see here, the layout is a little bit different. So the community locks and the trade or market, everybody's going to be having a chance to plead their case in terms of the chat members of why you guys think Danny Green, like let's just say for example, Dwight Howard is a lock or a trade market. You guys have a chance to plead with the case. If I say yes, then I might put them there too. The final call will be by you guys. Majority rules, okay? Here's the rules. Here's the rules. It's an open floor. Just go out there and start typing in the comments or in the live show where you guys want this player to go. Should they go on the market or they should be in the Lakers or a lock? One player at a time will be presented on the top here. I'm going to be putting something on the top in this area, around this area where my basketball thing is. I'm going to have like a board where I put a player's name and we're going to be putting it one at a time so that it's not all jumbled. Okay? Next one, no trade spots. Meaning you guys cannot like put a lock on Anthony Davis and then all of a sudden go back the other way, put Anthony Davis on the market. For today, for this first period of live shows, I will not allow trading places, okay? No trade places for this first one. If we're in the trade deadline, maybe, but no, not for this one. And finally, we're not gonna be mentioning any trade rumors for the prediction round. We're just gonna predict, and then after that, we're gonna be talking about the rumors themselves. What you guys think about this rumor? This particular rumor, like the Chris Paul rumor. That one I think is gonna get a lot of traction very soon here because of the 2013 block. So I would start paying attention to the Chris Paul one as well. Okay? And for those of you who are brand new to the channel, subscribe for more Lakers content, including videos like this one, and we'll also do a highlight video soon. And our next show, our other content includes my life as a Laker fan. That's a brand new series I'm bringing. I'll be talking about my personal stories of being a Los Angeles Laker fan, including our very first show, my first episode for you guys, my Lakers collection. I have a small collection, okay? A very small collection of Lakers material. So I cannot wait to bring you that. I also have a story about my grandfather. I have a story about the 81-point game. Where was I watching and all that good stuff. And I also have a story on my family. How we started watching basketball, who likes who, and all that good stuff. Don't miss those. And I have some Kobe Bryant material for you. Kobe Bryant highlight videos. I just posted up one a few days ago, so check that out. And to be more interested in the basketball, next month is the NBA draft, and I will cover that. November 18th is the actual draft, but I'm gonna break it down two ways. We're gonna have a preview on Saturday, November the 14th, and we're gonna have the live reaction Saturday, November 21st. Alright? And then we have a preview show for the Lakers 2021 season coming up in December. most likely the new season starts in January, assuming that everything goes to plan. Alright? So, Laker fans, are you ready for the 18th title? I am. So, to get ready, subscribe here and check out these videos on the right. We have the introduction to the project right over here, and we have the first ever highlight video for Kobe Bryant on this channel over here. So check those out and have fun and go Lakers.